Hey guys, welcome back to Margot Watches Movies. My name's Jake Margot with a special guest appearance from Hamilton tonight. It is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Happy Father's Day to my dad. Tonight we're going to be reviewing a film that debuted this weekend on Apple TV Plus called Echo Valley. The film stars Julianne Moore, it stars Sydney Sweeney and Domhnall Gleeson. It's directed by Michael Pierce. And to give you a brief synopsis, as shown on the screen that you probably can't read, Julianne Moore's Kate, whose secluded life is interrupted by her troubled daughter when she shows up on her doorstep covered in somebody else's blood. This is a thriller film that, to be quite frank, is limited on thrills. I was not very impressed with this movie. I will start with positives though. These two ladies give really captivating and compelling performances. Sydney Sweeney, especially, is a standout in this movie as she continues to show that she is more than a pretty face. She is very talented and a very good actor. And obviously, when you get Julianne Moore in a movie, she's an Oscar winning actor. She's been in this business a long time. She's in many good films, and this is basically her film to carry. And she does it in kind of a quiet, emotionally reserved way. She goes inward when most actors would choose to go big. And I think when you get an actor of her quality, um, you know, that's a byproduct of what she can bring to the table. And she's very good in the movie. The two performances by them, again, are the big selling points for me. If you like seeing actors act their ass off, you still might get some enjoyment out of this movie. But as far as the thriller element, as far as what kind of starts in an interesting way, I will say. The first act is very slow, though. There's a couple of good scenes spersed throughout this first act, but it really takes a while to get going into like what is actually the plot of the story. And you have the villain of this film played by Domhnall Gleeson, who is a typically good actor. I thought he fell pretty flat to me. I didn't find him physically imposing. He wasn't very intimidating either. The script calls for him basically bullying physically women to kind of show how intimidating he is. But he really just comes off like a pasty little drug addict, drug dealing bully. He's not particularly smart. His plan is really stupid. I mean, ridiculously stupid. And he's not very good in the film, nor is his character a well written character. And the plot itself, like how the story unfolds, I think there is a pretty clever twist towards the end of the movie. I don't think it redeems the movie into something I would call a good film. I think there's good components of a film in here with two really good performances. I just don't think there's really anything in here besides some solid acting that elevates this into an enjoyable movie. I think the pacing of this film is slow. It is a slow moving movie, my lord. It's an hour and 44 minutes with credits, but it felt like a 2.5 hour film for me. And it was hard to get through at points. Um, if you're an animal person, Uh, and when you see animals in thrillers, you get worried. You're good on that end. No dogs are dying in this movie. Um, but I just I wonder what is going on at Apple TV sometimes because they've had such fantastic television shows and their highs that they've reached on some of these shows, like Severance, one of the best shows released in the last few years. Um, Maybe if it keeps going, we're talking about an all-time great television show. And then their movies are just so bland and almost AI at times. And I can say on a positive note, the good thing about this movie is it doesn't feel like it was designed to do chores with it on in the background. Like so many other Apple movies have been. It's definitely better than that, and you can tell that some craft was taken. I just don't think the script was very good, and I think they just take too long to get into the juice of the story. So like what makes a thriller good is there's this constant pacing and energy where you're getting carried through momentum through the story, and you get wrapped up in the conflict and the twists. And while this film has a few scenes that would match that level, there's too often slow, reflective, meditative scenes that just grind the momentum to a halt and take you back out of that enjoyment level. So for me, this could have even been a shorter movie, like just a lean 90 minutes, and you might have a better movie in here. But in an hour 45, it feels long in the tooth, and it wasn't very thrilling. I do enjoy um, like how Julianne Moore gets out of certain situations using her head more than like physicality. Though I will say this is a movie where she owns a horse farm. If she owned a shotgun, the movie's over in 20 minutes, um, but she didn't. So, but all in all, this was a movie I will not be watching again. I can't wholeheartedly recommend it, but if you want to see a couple of really good performances and something that's just easily accessible, if you're subscribed to Apple TV, you're a Sydney Sweeney or a Julianne Moore fan, maybe give it a watch. Let me know what you think. Have you seen the movie? Let me know in the comments below. Uh, Also, would love it if you guys could give me a like or a subscribe. But uh, overall, as we introduced in my last video on a rating scale, this is very much a middle of the road movie for me. So that's my official rating, middle of the road. Uh, and that's all for Margot Watches Movies. So again, let me know what you guys thought if you've seen it. If you were wanting to watch it and this sways you, I'm sorry. I just wasn't really for me, though there are some good elements. So that's Margot Watches Movies. My name is Jake Margot. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.